About a month ago, we went to see this band, the Blood Brothers, who was like one of my favorite bands when I was in high school and college. And because of someone I work with, I was able to get on the guest list. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought when I was in high school going to see this band that 20-ish years later, I'd be seeing them in New York City and I'd be on the guest list. But also never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be almost 40 and have 3 roommates and have never lived by myself. You know, so your wildest dreams, there's a spectrum there. Hey everyone, welcome to update video. I figure it's been a while since I posted anything and I really wanted to update you on where I'm at, where I've been, where I'm headed. Got Banjo in here with me right now, so hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. Please forgive me, I'm a little sick, please bear with my voice. I hope you're having a great start to the new year. I've been doing okay. Honestly, I've been swinging wildly between doing pretty good and feeling apathetic and lethargic and feeling like we're all doomed and honestly, what's the point of anything? But there's also been a lot of joy, and every day I look at Banjo and I'm just so grateful to have such a cool dog who loves me so much. I've got a great job. I got a really good living situation in New York City. I've been here almost 10 years. Overall, things are really good when I zoom out and I'm not worried too much about all of the things happening in the world. Last year was a little bit of a weird year for me as far as music goes. I deliberately slowed down on playing shows and touring. I did some, obviously, and I'm sure you saw that, but really slowed down to what I've been doing every year since I graduated college besides the COVID years. I was navigating having a new job and trying to figure out what that was going to be like and how to balance them. And with music, honestly, I was feeling myself start to burn out a little bit. Just didn't feel great, you know. Some ticket sales were going down at shows, not that they've ever been super high. Booking tours was getting harder and harder. I feel like I was kind of at the peak of my momentum in my music career. Kind of happened just before COVID hit, kind of right when we were in the studio making Honeysuckle Summer. COVID took the wind out of the sails a bit. You know, not to say that there weren't plenty of people cheering me on, and you know who you are, those of you that have been big time supporters, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's such a lucky thing for me to be able to do what I do and to have been able to do it for so long. We're getting older, you know, a lot of my fans are friends of mine, and priorities change as you get older. You have kids, you start prioritizing other things than going to the bar and listening to a sad guy sing songs. But at the end of the day, it started to feel like if I were to stop touring and stop playing music, and it wouldn't really matter, and it felt kind of like a vanity project. I know I would never completely just quit playing music. That's just not who I am. I was thinking about really slowing down a lot. I've been touring since I was 19 and I'm 37 now. Feels like it's the hardest it's ever been to make it work. And I've never been even remotely close to anything that would be called a hit song or having something go viral. I've never been able to sell a lot of tickets in any city. It just feels like I've just been working at it for a really long time. And inevitably I started spiraling a little bit. Let's just say it wasn't the fun kind of spiral, like a football. It was the bad kind of spiral, like a poorly thrown football.
Is my music any good? Have I just been kidding myself all these years? Will I ever be able to find a manager that isn't just a friend of mine or a booking agent who is legit and can get me on actual tours? Will I just have to book every single show that I play ever? When is the cavalry coming?
Gondor will answer. Gondor. Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?
I've been working on a record since 2023, but I was dragging my feet a bit, really nervous about the thought of releasing it, so it just kept getting dragged out. So I was shopping it around to labels and met with some managers and sent it to some different agents and things like that. Most of what I got back was that I don't have a strong enough social media presence and my streaming numbers aren't good enough, I don't sell enough records, I don't sell enough tickets, etc., etc. I just started spiraling more and more.
I don't like making Instagram videos. I don't like being on Instagram, to be honest. It drives me fucking nuts.
Told me, you know, you need to start paying for ads on Instagram and ads on Spotify. And I'm like, I gotta give my money to the companies that are exploiting me and all of my friends and not paying me for those things that I'm already creating and putting on their platform. It's really tough. Like, I gotta be giving my money to people who are actively making the world shittier. And then Donald Trump got elected to a second term and there was more spiraling.
Why do working class people identify with a blood-sucking, silver-spooned little bitch like Donald J. Trump so much?
And then a week later, my girlfriend and I broke up, and then the very next day, my psych rock band Faders broke up. So, more spiraling.
Why does God let bad things happen?
And then about a week after all that happened, the band I work for started their holiday residency, and that pretty much took up all of my time up until a few days before Christmas. And during the residency, I just realized like I need to get the fuck out of New York City for a while, and I need to go out west and get some hugs from the homies in Utah and some hugs from the homies in Arizona and spend some quality time with my amazing parents. And so that's what I did. After we finished the residency, a few days later, Banjo and I packed up the van and we hit the road. Other than the driving, the trip was awesome. Left New York City at like 11 p.m. and just drove. We made the 35 hour drive in like 48 hours. Just slept in the van a couple times. We slept in the van in Omaha in 12-degree weather, and that was one of my worst ideas I've ever had.
Oh man, drove past Omaha, not quite to Lincoln. It's like 4 in the morning. Been driving since about 11 a.m. It's like 12 degrees outside, and we're gonna try and sleep in the back of the van for a few hours. Wish us luck. Oh my God, it's so cold. Watch out for LBs.
But then we got to Utah, got some hugs from the homies, got to hang out. That was really nice. And then made the drive down to Arizona. I love that drive. I've been doing it for years and it was beautiful. Banjo and I stopped outside of Moab and messed around in the desert for a little bit. Christmas Eve, got to my folks' place, started getting sick. I was sick for like 3 days, could hardly leave the bed, but luckily I was at my folks' place, so I had a comfortable place to be, not just in the van. Once I got over that, Banjo and I just did a lot of hiking in the woods behind my parents' house, and it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted and what I needed it to be. I got to be alone a lot on that trip. I mean, not technically alone, because Banjo was there with me the whole time. And not that I don't get a lot of alone time here in my room. It never feels like you're alone. There's always someone upstairs or downstairs making noise, or out on the street making noise, or a roommate shuffling around. You know, you just never really feel like you're actually alone. Driving and hiking and all that stuff, got to be alone and really think about a lot of things. I got to think about my life a little bit, got to think about the state of the world, state of music, my music. It was really good. When I think about my life in a more objective way, when I zoom out and I'm not caught up in the Instagram headlines or the bullshit of late stage capitalism that we all find ourselves in, I'm really happy. I have a great life and I'm really grateful for everything in it. When I think about the state of the world, I get really anxious, I get angry, and I get really sad. It feels like everywhere you turn, there's people that are suffering and things that have just gotten objectively shittier over the years. And when you look at the core reason why, it's usually like so rich people can be even more rich. It's just hard to look around at the world and not be pissed off. It's all just gotten shittier at the expense of everyday people. I get pretty hopeless, more spiraling.
Did George W. Bush know about 9/11 before it happened?
When I think about music, it's an interesting combination of kind of the two. If I'm talking about my personal relationship with music, it's amazing. I'm better at guitar than I ever thought I would be. I understand all kinds of gear and how it works and what it's used for. And I feel like the record I've been working on is probably the best one I've ever made. I think it's really phenomenal and I'm so proud of it. But then I think about the state of the music industry or the music world, and it's back to anxiety, anger, and sadness and hopelessness.
Did George W. Bush do 9/11?
I don't need to bore you about the details of this either, but it's again at the core of it, already rich people becoming more rich by exploiting musicians. It's an entire industry filled with a lot of people making a ton of money, and most of them aren't the people who are making the music. The musicians are the biggest employers in the music industry, but like nobody pays them even for the music they create. Economically, it's just a hard thing to fucking navigate. I talk to other friends who are going through all the same thing, you know, whether they're other regional touring acts or medium-sized, or, you know, friends that have opened for big bands on stadium tours for an entire summer. They're all struggling. It's really hard. Everyone watching this has watched cost of living skyrocket since the COVID-19 pandemic. And the fact of the matter is, most musicians are getting paid the same amount for a gig today as they did in the 90s. And the math just ain't mathing. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And especially as you're getting older and I'm thinking about like, oh, will I have money or any sort of security? And so, right now it's really hard to be excited about putting out new music into the world. I received the vinyl for the new record and the CDs like months before the record's even coming out. And I gotta tell you, they look amazing. The CDs look great, the vinyl look amazing. But the weird thing is, the day that they got in, I felt myself getting anxious and it stressed me out. I wasn't excited. I was like, oh, now it's real. Now I have to sell all these records. And I could feel the spiral beginning to start again. And then I was like, wait, this is an exciting moment. You made an amazing record and you should be proud of that. And people need to hear it. And I remembered a lot of what I thought about when I was on that road trip. I knew that I'd possibly never make much money playing music, that I might not ever have a really big audience. And the music industry's been a nightmare. It's been a raging dumpster fire forever. I never decided to pursue a career in music for the money. It's always been about building a life that is a work of art, living your life in a way that is fulfilling, trying to see how far music could take me, and like pursuing a dream as opposed to just working a job. And it was about engaging with capitalism on my own terms. I didn't create this system, but as best as I could, I was going to play it by my own rules. I realized that the hopelessness I was feeling is what the people who own this world want me to feel. They want me to feel like a better life isn't possible, a better world isn't possible, that there's no hope, and that I'm powerless. And I call bullshit. There's always hope. And we always have some amount of power, even if it's just in shifting your own perspective. Once again, I didn't create the system, but I can try and engage with it by my own rules. And I can try and help who I can, and help how I can and what I can. And I can try not to get bogged down by the things I can't. Making music's my favorite thing in the world to do. Being on tour is my favorite thing. This is what I want to do and what I'm gonna do. So why not like actually really go for it? So all this to say, I'm back. I'm putting out this record. I want as many people to hear it as possible. I'm gonna be trying really hard to be pushing things in ways that I've never really pushed my music before. OnlyFans? And so, it might be a little awkward, or you may see me posting some cringy stuff on fucking Instagram. It just is what it is. And trust me, it's way more cringy for me than it is for you.
Why is Luigi the first Luigi, if you know what I mean?
I'm currently trying to fill out my calendar with shows and touring whenever my job allows me to be away, and I'm really excited about that. Banjo and I are going to be on the road a bunch. I'm hoping to be able to bring a band for some of the tours, but it's expensive. Like, people need to make money. There's not a lot of money out on the road for people like me who play bars and breweries and stuff like that. So if you want to support that and support me making more music, more videos, things like that, becoming a paid member on Patreon really, really helps. I'm gonna start posting all the songs from the new record to Patreon, one at a time, with a little bit about them. You can sign up for free, or you can choose to throw some money my way each month. All that money is gonna go towards marketing the new record, towards helping me make more video content, whether it's music videos, which I have some cool ones in the works. And I'm not officially releasing the record to Spotify or available to everyone else until April or May. But the pre-order for patrons, whether you're a paid member or a free member, is gonna start here in the next week or so. Who's to say, if you're a patron, your pre-order might end up in the mail well before it's available to anybody else. So I'm gonna have a lot more information. Just keep an eye out for that. And that's pretty much it for now. Thanks so much for watching this. I'm really excited to see you all out on the road this year and to hear what you think of the new record. I'm really, really proud of it. There's people that have been die-hard supporters of mine for a long time, and it's the only way I've been able to make it this far. So thank you so much. You know who you are. And if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're one of them. I love all the kind words y'all send me, and they mean a lot to me. So you can keep that up. If you gotta send mean words, send them to Banjo. He handles that stuff much better than me. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all soon.